Good morning, my loves. Welcome to day 1 of 14 of my being productive, working hard, trying to get enough money in to pay my bills this month from my online income streams. If you watched my previous video, which I have literally just finished sorting out the thumbnail for the back end of, scheduled it to go out in about half an hour, I think it is, 9:30, and it's just before 9 now. Yeah, I kind of decided while I was editing it that I am going to film those 14 days of work. Well, I'm gonna really try hard to, because I figure that showing my struggles will help anyone else who's struggling, and also might be quite interesting if you're not struggling at the moment. This is not going to be inspirational content, guys. This is going to be me just trying to sort it out. And yeah, I just kind of thought I feel fairly safe sharing that with the majority of people that come in and watch these vlogs. Having said that, there'll always be a person, there'll always be one who just drops into my comments and kind of does this slightly condescending, it just might not be for you. You might not be for you. I think you need to go and get a job. What I need right now is encouragement, people. I need encouragement. I do not need to be told that I should be doing something else just because, I'm having a pretty kind of wobbly month. I won't go into too many details at the moment because I'm stood here and I want to go and get some breakfast, and this morning is the only morning I have got for the next 2 weeks, I think, where I can actually get to my allotment. So before I kind of start on this, productivity thing, I need to go and sort my allotment out. I've got loads of seeds that I need to get in. Not so much because they have to be in at this particular time, but just because I've got all of these other commitments that are taking me away. That mean I can't do it at any other point, and also the weather's going to start raining and snowing and stuff again around here. So yeah, I want to get some things in the ground, even though they might not actually start germinating until it warms up again. But I know what I'm doing. I know why I'm doing it. So I'm going to go and get some breakfast. Sorry for the garbled intro. It is just very much I've just decided to do this, and so rubbish is coming out of my mouth at the moment. So I'm going to have something to eat, and then I might have a sensible conversation with you afterwards, and then I've got to head to my allotment. Right, I'm back and slightly more coherent than I was earlier, I think. What have I done so far this morning? It's 9:30, and the video that I spent this morning just finishing off some last minute editing, I made a thumbnail for it, and so actually not more coherent yet. I made a thumbnail for it and did all the kind of back end stuff, found all the tags that I was going to use for it, search terms and stuff. That's all on, that's just gone live, and I have made and had eaten my breakfast. I spoke about this in my last vlog actually, that I am really feeling the benefits of making sure that I have some type of protein with my breakfast in the morning. It's just given me so much more energy and just so much kind of livelier than normal. So this morning I had a toasted cheese sandwich with spinach and spring onion in it, and the cheese was sliced very thinly because I don't need loads of it, and it was predominantly the spinach and the spring onion, and it was really tasty. I feel really good. And I have a banana that I'm going to eat as well. I'm just finishing off my peppermint tea, and then all I need to do then is pop upstairs and kind of make sure that I'm dressed properly for the allotment. Basically, I need to go and get a jumper, sort my hair and face out a little bit, because I am going to film at the allotment. Oh, that was the other thing I did. I tested out this Sony mic that I've got because it's really windy, and this phone will just pick up on all of that when I'm over at the allotment filming. And the reason why I had to test this is I found it buried in the garden under a pile of leaves. It had been out in rain, minus temperatures. It had been out in the garden for weeks, and so I kind of have left it indoors for a couple of weeks just to make sure it's thoroughly dry. Plugged it in, just did a little test recording, and it bloody works. It's amazing, it actually works. I've just, yeah, well done Sony. So, I mean, it's not the best microphone in the world, but it has survived. So I will be taking that with me. And I just need to just kind of dot about the house, make sure I've got everything together for a trip to the allotment. I don't really want to spend more than a couple of hours over there. It's still quite cold. It's not the best time to be kind of going out and sowing things in the ground at the moment, but like, it's okay. They'll probably germinate in a couple of weeks' time when all of the temperatures have risen. But I'm going to go and do it. Like I said earlier, this is the only time I've got. And then when I get back, I will be onto my Monday routine, which is all based around reselling. Although I have a slight problem. The parcel that I thought was going to arrive on Saturday has not arrived. And I'm sure I got an email saying that it was due on Saturday. And when I went and checked the tracking, it's now saying that they haven't received the parcel from the suppliers, which I'm sure it did say that in the last message I got from them. So I'm really, really worried that about £50 worth of stock has just gone AWOL. But I'm not going to worry about it now. I will try and sort that out this afternoon and just try and figure out what's going on with that. But yeah, that's how the day is shaping up. I'm going to go and get sorted. And the next time I see you, I will be at the allotment. So you'll notice then that I'm not at the allotment. And that's because the wind that I thought was probably going to be okay, turns out it's 50-mile-per-hour winds, or actually slightly over 50-mile-per-hour winds. I looked out of my kitchen window and I could see just the trees just bending down like this. And I can't film in that. And I don't even think I'd be able to comfortably garden in that either. So I've had a look at the rest of the week, and there is a window of opportunity tomorrow on Tuesday, and there is, I think the whole of Wednesday morning is looking okay at the moment as well. It's going to rain all afternoon. Don't care. But yeah, we're going to move that. We're going to push that into, you know, Tuesday or Wednesday. But gosh, I feel defeated again, and it's just so, I have to get out of this mindset and I have to just get on and do things. I had a really, really, really lovely comment left by somebody on the video that has just gone live. Well, it was about 45 minutes ago now. And yeah, it was just a nice, kind, supportive, encouraging, complimentary comment. And I read it and I just thought, oh my God, never, never have I needed to hear that more than right now. So, and it's that thing that I make myself think of whenever I feel like I just can't make a video. I just think to myself, right, well, the one I'm recording today is for all of you, but it's for her. It's for that person that left that first comment on my last video. This one is definitely for you. Here we go then, folks. So we're back to the kind of regular Monday routine. It's 10:15. The morning hasn't gone quite how I expected, but it's fine. I can claw it back. And because things are just nosediving with reselling at the moment, I haven't got that many parcels to dispatch anyway. In fact, see, here's the thing. I've got about 30 listings on my personal account and I have sold 3 things. I have almost 500, actually no, I think it's probably closer to about 450 at the moment, listings on my business eBay, and I've sold 8 things. This is in the space of a week. And it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense, because the stuff that I'm selling on my personal eBay, you know, it's not like mega expensive sought after stuff. It's just fairly ordinary things. In fact, one of the things that has sold is something that would fit in with my business shop as well. But I bet if I put it on there, it wouldn't have sold. Anyway, this is not constructive. What is constructive is me getting on with some stuff. So I'm going to log into my eBay account. I'm going to pick some orders, and then we'll see if we can just lift myself up today, because I don't want to depress you all. I don't want to depress you all with the fact that I'm fed up already today. So we'll try and find something positive out of today. Okay, so things are worse than I thought. Plus, I've just had to send someone a refund because the pair of earrings that they ordered have been, well, I've said to them damaged in storage. I think they have just deteriorated. They've been in my jewellery box storage boxes for over a year, this pair of earrings. I'm doing that, God, I haven't done that for ages, in that thing where you look at yourself in the camera and not actually at the people you're talking to. Sorry about that. It's my state of mind at the moment. But yeah, so they are, I think they're probably 1960s plastic. I think they look it to me anyway. They're old plastic, and it's basically, it's just yeah, just deteriorated. And so I've had to refund someone £10, which is a bit of a blow when you've hardly got anything coming in. But luckily it's gone out of the money that's sitting there ready to pay out tomorrow. Those of you that do eBay will know what I'm referring to. So yeah, I'm a bit, I mean, this is now quite literally a head in hands moment. Wait until I tell you what my turnover is. This is for the 1st to the 13th of March. We're not at the end of the 13th yet. I haven't had any sales today, so actually it's more like from the 1st to the 12th. So my turnover is £231.38, which is 67% down on last year. Oh my gosh, that's really bad. And I had sort of noticed it, but I don't think I'd noticed it was quite that bad because I'd had such a good February, just from various things, like all of these different things that I do had all combined and given me a really strong month. So I had some spending money in February. I got to catch up on some gift giving, so I still owed people some presents from Christmas, and had my mum's birthday, and just various things. And I'm not entirely caught up on that, but I was able to, you know, knock a few more things off that particular list. So that was really positive. And then I had some money left over. I mean, actually, no, I bought myself a few things as well. Nothing extravagant, just, you know, like multi-pack socks because I needed some new socks. Just like little bits and pieces like that. And I bought myself some seeds as well. Again, I think it was maybe £10 worth. So I had a little bit of spending money. I also did quite a few things. You know, went out to lunch with a friend, went to stay with. This is what happens when you just prop your phone up against the computer. We're back. You're a bit crooked, but never mind. Yeah, so you know, I went out and visited some people and did some stuff, and all of that was really lovely. And I still had some money left over to go towards this month, and I think because of that, it kind of has disguised just how appallingly bad things are this month. So yeah, that's all pretty awful. I don't even know. Do you know what? I'm gonna go make a cup of tea. Let me show you what this is. My list of what I've done so far. Let me read it to you. So far today, it's 11:11 at the moment. I just get myself back in shot. Oh wow, that light is really bright, isn't it? It's quite sunny outside, but I checked again and it's still 50-mile-per-hour winds, so still no allotment today. Anyway, what have I done so far today? I did the thumbnail for the video that you guys will have seen this morning, and keyword research for that, all the back end stuff and scheduling it, picked my eBay orders for what it's worth, started vlogging for the day. I've packaged and labelled those orders, and I've done sell similar on 20 items. So actually, let's check how many listings I've actually got. So I've got 460. Let me write that down. 460. I should be carrying about 500, but I should have been adding about 30 to 40 today from the stock that I thought was due to arrive on Saturday, but something has, I think, gone horribly wrong with that. So that's one of the things that I need to investigate. The disappearing stock that's for sure. And then I'm just noting that down because that will be, because it's an irritating thing to do, I will put it off and I will end up not doing it. So I have that to do. The next thing I'm going to do once I've made my cup of tea is give this desk a quick tidy up, because I've just got things piled on here from last week and at the weekend, and it's look, it's just horrific. I can't work like that. And I've just remembered as well, oh, I forget this, I've got my personal eBay dispatch to do. I need to stop being lazy and actually hold the phone up. Actually, what I might do is dig out a little tripod and just stick this in the corner so I can turn and talk to you whenever I feel like it throughout the day. But yes, so sort out the missing stock. We'll just try and figure out what's going on with that. Personal eBay dispatch. Then I need to go through everything I've got listed on Etsy, everything in the Etsy listed box, and check that it is in fact all listed. Go through everything I've got in my stock drawer that I think is meant to be listed on Etsy, and then just kind of focus on that and get those things on and done. That may well be enough to take me to the end of the day. I'm not sure, but let's just go and make this cup of tea and just try and pull myself together. Guys, I'm trying to go for a walk. I've just posted my parcels, but I don't know if you can hear the wind at all. It's really blowy out here. Okay, yeah, it's a bit blowy. It's a bit blowy out, so I have found a bench and I'm actually going to call my walk short slightly. I don't know where the sun is, I can't see. Oh goodness. So I've posted my parcels and I just need to go and get some milk from the shop on my way home. And I think I might stop off at the allotment just to check to see if there's been a delivery of compost, because that would be quite handy to know that for tomorrow and for Wednesday, so I can kind of plan my visit properly. But yeah, I think it's time to go home. Okay then gang, we are back from the walk and I've had my lunch. I had mainly salad with a little bit of bulgur wheat in it as well. And I made enough that I've got some for tomorrow as well, which is fantastic. And what else have I done? I think that might be it. Is that it? Got the milk, got the milk, got some exercise, went to the allotment, as you know, checked to see if there had been a delivery of, oh, there has been a delivery of compost. That's the thing. I had a feeling that there'd probably been a delivery and they hadn't told me. They were going to email me. And there's not that much left, so I'm definitely going first thing tomorrow, just to make sure that I get some of that compost on to my allotment, and that will be my allotment time tomorrow instead. So that's all good. I've set a timer, and I've set a timer for 15 minutes because, as you can see, it's a disaster in here. Everything is an absolute disaster. In fact, I'm just going to tilt you down slightly so you can see a bit more of the desk and a bit more of the floor and everything. And for 15 minutes, I come back. For 15 minutes, I'm just going to buzz about and put some stuff away, tidy some things away, sort some stuff out, clear some space on my desk, because at the moment everything is so cluttered in here that I haven't got room to work and I just don't feel comfortable working in here. I've got something on Amazon Prime that I'm watching at the moment. I'm going to open that window because it's actually really warm today, get some fresh air in here, and I might even light the scented candle that I've got. And yeah, that's it. So 15 minutes then, guys. Starting from now, let me see how much I can get tidied. Right, so it turns out I didn't need the whole of the 15 minutes. I think I spent about 12 minutes and managed to get quite a few things done. I managed to clear the floor, put some things away, cleared some of the bigger items that were on the desk. I've also realised that I'm almost at the point where I can take, so all of the books and things that you see and the bookcases in the corner on the IKEA Billy bookcases, they all belong downstairs in the dining room. So we've got built-in shelves on either side of the chimney breast, and that's where our collection of books usually lives. But where I've been just painting the ceiling, painting the walls, I've kind of taken absolutely everything out of that room so that we can also sort of de-junk as we go. And we've sent quite a lot of boxes of stuff to charity, and a lot of the stuff that was on the floor in this corner here was stuff that we'd sorted out to go to charity but hadn't put it together in a box yet. So I popped a box in my bedroom, and I kind of carried quite a lot of it out to go into this charity shop box, which is almost full. Needs a few more bits and pieces in there, and then I can package that up and send it off to the British Heart Foundation, because they'll just send you a free post label, and you can like drop the box off at like drop off places like shops and petrol stations and things like that, and then it gets to them, which is fantastic. So there's two like single thin Billy bookcases that are full of books. Those two will definitely all be empty, hopefully by the end of next month, because I've just got some little bits of finishing off to do and sort of neatening it up. Some bits where I've been cutting in the paint and not done a very good job because I'm new to it. I've not really done it before. And the tape, this is just a decorating thing. Why not? Why not let's just talk about everything while we're here together. So I've been using like the decorator's tape to try and get a straight line with the cutting in of the ceiling and the skirting boards and around the shelves and things. But because the walls are so old and uneven, you still can't get a straight line. So you peel off the tape, really excited that you're going to get this beautiful, sharp, straight line. And then it still sort of is a bit wavy because the wall is a bit wavy. And because, you know, we're not staying in this house, it's not worth our while to have all the walls skimmed. If we were staying, and then we would do that, but it's not worth doing that at the moment for kind of what we want to get out of the house. So yes, but that means that hopefully next month I'll be able to get rid of those two bookcases, and that will free up a little bit more space in here, and it will just feel less, what's the word? Is imposing the right word? No, that's not the right word, is it? You know what I mean? It sort of looms, the bookcases loom in here. Again, probably because they are actually leaning because the floor isn't straight. But yeah, it will just be good to get rid of some of the furniture in here, and then I can turn it into a much more comfortable office. But yes, we are a bit tidier and the desk is looking clear. I'm ready to get on with my next bit of work. It's actually quite late in the day. I haven't got quite as much done today as I wanted to, but we are getting there. Oh, let me just add to my, what happened to my pen? I've tidied away my pen. I've been too efficient. Oh, there it is. Let me just add. Right, so far today then, I've done a thumbnail for a YouTube video, keyword research for a YouTube video, filled out the back end and scheduled a YouTube video. I've picked my business eBay orders. I've started and I've continued vlogging throughout the day. I've packaged and labelled those business eBay orders. I did sell similar for 20 items that had come off auction and they'd gone on auction because they've been hanging around in the shop for too long. And I think I sold a couple of things, but I didn't really set the prices that low for them. So I've put them back on at buy it now prices, and I've kind of dramatically lowered them. So hopefully they will pop off soon. I picked my personal orders, of which there were 3, packaged and labelled those personal orders. I've also posted them. Let me just add that. And I have, I'm going to put a beam for a walk as well. Walk/exercise is going on there. I'm making sure that I'm increasing my level of activity, because those of you that are quite new to my channel will not like know this or will have like noticed it, but those of you that have been watching me back from the eBay days, you'll have noticed that I've put on quite a lot of weight over the last couple of years, for I suppose a couple of main reasons. To begin with, it was where I had this problem with my toe that I won't go into, that I did eventually get fixed and sorted, that was surprisingly causing me a lot of mobility issues. And then also sort of during the pandemic, and sort of as well as combined with the toe, and then as well as changing the way that I buy my stock, this will make sense soon, buy my stock and dispatch my parcels, I just don't walk as much as I used to. So I used to sell bigger items in my shop, which meant that I would go and drop them off at a shop that was about a 25 minute walk away. So at least twice a week I was getting like a 45 minute to an hour long walk. I used to go into town and shop for things in the charity shops, like vintage items for my shop, and again that's a good 20-25 minutes in and backwards, plus the walking around town. I used to go and collect things from auction houses, and whereas now I get most stuff posted to me, I get most parcels collected, and when I post things at a post box that's like a 5 minute walk away. So all of those things combined, the injury, the lockdowns, and the just changes in the way that I would have been running my business, I just hadn't noticed really until recently how little activity and exercise I've been getting. And I have reached a point where I'm now about 2 stone overweight, and I've gone up a dress size, and I'm not too bothered about that, or kind of like how I look as such. What does bother me is that it's affecting my health and my kind of fitness levels. I don't really have any fitness levels at the moment. They're that bad. So I used to regularly go on like 8, 10, 12 mile walks at the weekends and things. And now I'm like out of breath if I do 2 or 3 miles. And it's shocked me actually how quickly all of that sort of almost like aerobic health has deteriorated. And then also all of my muscle tone has gone or decreased, and I feel really sluggish. I don't sleep as well as I used to because I'm probably not going outside enough to get enough fresh air and things like that. And you know, the weight gain is putting more pressure on my joints, and I can feel them aching a lot more than they used to. So I'm not setting out in I need to lose that 2 stone. What I am assuming is if I start to shift back to that previous kind of lifestyle where I was just considerably more active, the rest of it will start to correct itself. So I'm not going in a kind of I need to do a 5 mile walk every single day or kind of anything like that, but I'm much more aware of what I'm doing, and I have just started to go out a little bit more every day, even if it's just for sort of 15 minutes, 20 minutes, just to kind of get my lifestyle back to a point where there's a healthy amount of activity in it. That's the walk and the exercise is going on here as things I've done today that are positive, because the better I feel, the better I'm going to work, and so on. So dropped off parcels, walk and exercise, tidied desk and office. I mean, I'm sitting here saying that I haven't been as productive as I wanted to, but I have got quite a few things done. And so the next thing on my list, I haven't got, what time is it? So it's about 2:30 now. The next thing on my list then that I mentioned earlier was I just need to go through everything that I've got and gather together any stock that I think that I've kept aside for Etsy. Now I've noticed that someone has put in one of the comments for the video that went out this morning basically explaining that I'm very unlikely to make the amount of money that I need and want to this month. Someone has asked, how do I decide what goes on eBay and what goes on Etsy? So Etsy is very experimental for me at the moment, but the theme of my shop that I'm trying to go for is, it was originally just going to be jewelry. Then I thought I might go sort of like things for a vintage dressing table, but I think I'm broadening that out even further and going for just like vintage bedroom because I'd quite like to test out selling haberdashery, things like that, so buttons and little bits and pieces that also don't take up a lot of storage room. I don't suddenly want to go back to having boxes and boxes of stock like I used to have. So that's how I decide. Basically things like these little dishes and things that I've got, they have been specifically bought to try out on Etsy and see if they sell, because at the moment I'm not sure. I've probably noticed a couple of patterns in terms of what's selling, but I've only had, I think, 15 sales. I think I opened that Etsy shop, or rather I took a pre-existing shop that I had for something else and I turned it into the jewelry shop, I think around October of last year, and for the most part it's had about 35 listings in it. There's a few more in there now, and I've had like 15 sales over that period of time. So not loads, but there are certain things that have sold, types of things that have sold repeatedly, so I'm kind of keeping an eye on that. Really, I won't put, so things that I won't put on Etsy is anything that is in bad condition or broken. I will sell that on eBay and I'll put like a little asterisk in the title and just say flaw, and then in the description describe what the flaw is. So if there's a stone missing or if a clasp is a little bit loose or whatever, those things always go on eBay. I wouldn't dream of putting those on Etsy. Other than that, there's some crossover still. And there might always be some crossover, but there are some things that are becoming a little bit more distinct between the two shops. So that's my decision-making process at the moment. Right, I'm going to have a look through all these drawers. I'm going to see what I can find. I'm hoping that I can gather together maybe at least 10 things to pop onto Etsy. I also need to go through the box of stuff that says it's all listed, but I think there's some things in there that I took some photos of, and then when it came to sort of look back at those photos, I thought, I don't think they're good enough. So I didn't list those things. I need to sort it all out. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to carry on watching, what is this, season 9 of The Block on Amazon Prime, which is a kind of home renovation decorating show from Australia, which I love, and I thought I'd watched them all and then I realised I found 2 series that I didn't watch, so I'm, you know, like a pig in the proverbial at the moment, watching those and kind of catching up on the bits that I missed. This is what I've managed to find then. It's not quite as much as I was hoping, but it is at least something. So I've fished out these 2 lampshades that I think might be worth trying to sell on Etsy. I've got a few bits of vintage glass left. I found this gorgeous Gone Fishing mug. So it's a vintage St. Michael at Marks and Spencer's mug. Now I was tempted to give this mug to my dad on Father's Day, but to be honest, I bought him a mug fairly recently, and also I don't want to cast aspersions on my dad's, you know, taste level, but I don't think he'll appreciate how lovely a vintage St. Michael mug is. I've got this little like sort of mini brass candelabra. This dressing table set I think I've shown you before in a video and it still hasn't been listed. I've got a lovely ditzy flower teacup and saucer. And what else have we got? Oh yeah, so this here, I've fished out a load of vintage linens that what I'm going to do is I'm going to put those in the wash tomorrow and then get them ironed and ready to list on Thursday. Most of it's vintage linen, and I figure that kind of fits in with vintage bedroom, doesn't it, for the most part, so apart from the tea towel. So now the annoying thing is I can't get decent photos of any of it at the moment. Obviously the vintage linens and things I'm going to be washing and prepping ready for Thursday's reselling day, but I was hoping that I could get the glass and ceramics and everything cleaned up and photographed this afternoon. But as you can see, it's either this really viciously sharp, stark kind of winter sun that's coming into the room, or it goes really dark and gloomy. So what I've done is I've decided to kind of push all of that onto Thursday, and what I'm going to do in its place is, I talked about in the previous video that whilst I wasn't going to focus on KDP for the rest of this month, I will focus on it next month, but not for the rest of this month. I did have one book that was part way done. I'd say it's probably 60% done, like I'm over the halfway point, but I've still got a way to go. And I am going to work on that instead, because that is on my list of things that I'm going to do in these 14 days. And I'd rather do that and do that well than take a load of photos that actually just aren't very good and that I can't really use. So what I've done is I've got I am not a Winnie the Pooh fan, before you sort of think that. I don't know if you can see him hiding there in the undergrowth, but this weekly planner was on sale in Asda, I think it was, at some point last year for about £1.50. So I nabbed it, because even though I'm not a fan of Winnie the Pooh or Walt Disney, they're just not my thing. I really like all of the sort of like the wildflowers and things like that, and because the little animals oh, I do like Eeyore, but because the animals are kind of partially hidden, I'm not too upset by having a Winnie the Pooh weekly planner. Anyway, what I was going to show you, and I don't know if this is going to come out backwards, it probably will. I'll see if I can like reverse this section or something if it comes out backwards. So you can see that what I've done is I've put for Tuesday morning, I'm just going to whack the vintage linens in, get those washed. They're all fairly robust, so they can go on a cool wash in the washing machine. And then I've listed out everything that I'm going to do on Thursday. So I'm going to iron the vintage linens, do all of my eBay dispatch as usual. I'm going to take the photos for all the Etsy items, hopefully add fully completed 15 listings to Etsy, or at least have them to the point where I can maybe add a couple of listings every day. Photograph the eBay stock if that has arrived. I've just realised I still haven't looked into that yet, have I? And get as many eBay listings on as possible. And then I've also added at the bottom personal listings. I took some photographs at the weekend of some things just to add to my sort of decluttering account that I have on eBay, which is just a personal eBay account rather than a shop or anything, a business account or what have you. If there's time on that Thursday, because what I promised myself was that on the time that I allocate to reselling, I'm going to do reselling related stuff as far as possible. Then I can kind of squeeze some of that in as well. And actually thinking about it, I can do some of that this afternoon as well as the KDP. And then what I've put here is to edit the vlog in the evening. I think that's what I'm going to spend my evenings doing. At the end of each of my work days, these 14 work days, in the evening is just kind of cobble together all of the footage. It's not going to be anything fancy, you guys, but it means that we can track our progress. So there was one final thing that I'm going to show you and I'm going to do before I kind of sign off for today, so that I've got the chance to get on with this KDP stuff and so on and get the video edited. So come with me and I'm going to show you something. So this is my box of stuff that I'm sending to the charity shop. So there's loads of decluttered items in here, and what I'm going to do very quickly while I've got you here is going to unpack the box. I'm going to count up how many items I've decluttered, and then I'm going to pack the box neatly so that it can go off to the charity. Well, would you believe it? I have decluttered 34 items from my workspace, and that feels really fantastic. And then also I scanned all the books that were in there as well, and I've pulled some of them out so that I can send them off to Ziffit, and I will get a £5. And to be honest, this month that £5 will be going in the pot towards paying my bills and things for March. And that still leaves about 27 things, I think, that are going off to charity, which is also really good. And they're pretty decent things as well. Some silk ties and still plenty of books. There's some clothing, there's some vintage bits and pieces. There's just stuff that doesn't work for me in terms of trying to keep it or trying to sell it. So I'm feeling quite good about that. Now, like I said, I am going to end this particular vlog here. I will get this edited this evening and you'll probably see it in, I reckon it's going to be a couple of days after I actually do the filming. And then also I have got days where I'm booked out doing things with family. So sometimes the vlogs will come out perhaps daily, other times there might be a bit of a gap between them. But I'm going to hopefully try and show you all 14 of those working days so that you get a sense of how productive I have or haven't been and what I've managed to get done. So we will say goodbye. I will go and work on that KDP book that I was talking about and get myself planned and organised for tomorrow. Thank you so much for your support that I know a lot of you have left on the previous video, and thank you so much for spending a bit of time with me, and I will see you again in day 2, the next video.